Over the last week, liberal politicians and commentators in America took to the airwaves and op-ed pages to criticize the debt deal that Congress reached. But their ire was directed not at the Tea Party or even the Republicans, but rather at Barack Obama, who they concluded had failed as a president because of his persistent tendency to compromise. This has been a running theme ever since Obama took office. I think that liberals need to grow up. As the New Republic's Jonathan Chait brilliantly points out, there is a recurring liberal fantasy that if only the President of the United States would give a stirring speech, he would sweep the country along with the sheer power of his poetry and enact his agenda. In this view, writes Chait, every known impediment to the legislative process, special interest lobbying, the filibuster, macroeconomic conditions, not to mention certain settled beliefs of public policy, are but tiny stick huts trembling in the face of the atomic bomb of the presidential speech. This does happen if you are watching the movie The American President, but not if you're actually watching what goes on in Washington. The disappointment over the debt deal is just the latest episode of liberal bewilderment about Obama. I have no idea what Barack Obama believes on virtually any issue, Drew Weston writes in the New York Times, confused over Obama's tendency to take balanced positions. Weston hints that his professional experience, which is as a psychologist, suggests deep, traumatic causes for Obama's pathology. Let me offer a simpler explanation. Obama is a centrist and a pragmatist who understands that in a country divided over core issues, you cannot make the best the enemy of the good. Obama passed a large stimulus package within weeks of taking office. Liberals feel it should have been bigger. But remember, despite a Democratic House and Senate, it just passed by one vote. He signed into law an unprecedented expansion of regulations in the financial services industry, though it isn't one that broke up the large banks. He enacted universal health care through a complex program that was modeled after the Republican Mitt Romney's plan in Massachusetts. And he's advocated a balanced approach to deficit reduction that combines tax increases with spending cuts. Now, maybe he just believes in all these things. Maybe he understands that with a budget deficit that is 10% of GDP, the second highest in the industrialized world, and a debt that will rise to almost 100% of GDP in a few years, we cannot cavalierly spend another few trillion dollars hoping that it will jumpstart the economy. Maybe he believes that while American banks need better regulations, America also needs a vibrant banking system, and that in a globalized economy, constraining American banks alone will only ensure that the world's largest global financial institutions will be British, German, Swiss, and Chinese. He might understand that Larry Summers and Tim Geithner are smart people who in long careers in public service got some things wrong, but also many things right. Perhaps he understands that getting entitlement costs under control is in fact a crucial part of stabilizing our long-term fiscal situation, and that you do need both tax increases and spending cuts. Cuts, by the way, that are smaller than they appear because they all start from the 2010 budget, which was boosted by the stimulus. Is all this dangerous weakness, incoherence, appeasement? Or is it just common sense? For more on this, you can read my column in this week's Time magazine or at time.com. Let's get started.